Hi guys, this is Jeff at Slavens Racing. This video is about a new build I've been working on, a KTM 390 Adventure R. This is a 25 model. I believe the 26s are the same. So I'm just up here in the beautiful Rocky Mountains today. We didn't get a lot of snow this winter, really bad snow conditions. So everything's pretty well melted out up in here where I am. All right, so I want to start with like with all builds, I started by riding this bike in stock form. I brought it up here in the same area. I rode it totally stock to see what it was like. In the stock form, my biggest complaint was the engine performance. Very, very mushy down below. Very weak, soft power at low RPM up into the lower mid-range. And I don't know about you guys, but I ride all my bikes mainly in the bottom end and the mid-range. Yeah, if the track opens up and I get a chance to make it rip, sure, I'll do that once in a while, but typically I'm not a high revving kind of a guy. And this bike was extremely soft down low. So to address that issue, I started out with the Kuber products, and I installed the Kuber head pipe, which you can see right there. That saved 3 pounds, got rid of the catalytic converter, and that combined with the Kuber ECU really helped the bottom end and mid-range. Actually, their dyno chart shows that it helps from about 0 to 7,500 RPMs. But I ride mainly down, and today I've been riding this bike around quite a bit, and I've been riding it mainly from like 3,500 to 5,500 RPM is kind of the sweet spot for me on this bike. And it really, really woke that up a bunch. If you want dyno numbers, you can go to the Kuber website and look, but dyno numbers are just that. They're just numbers. What you really want to know is, did it make it more rideable, more fun to ride, easier to ride, just a better power band? And yes, that's what it did. We provide dyno charts with hardly any products because I'm a believer in dynos. I'm just not a big believer in providing dyno charts to people because they don't really make a lot of sense to most people. And it really doesn't tell you what you really need to know, and that is, how's the damn bike run? Well, this kit really livened it up, made it run a lot better. I mean, it's just a lot more usable down low now. The bike still starts fine, idles fine, warms up quickly. Got rid of all that leanness that it had down below. And guys like to complain about that, saying, well, why does KTM make them so lean? Well, that's what they have to do to get them into the country, to get them to pass the EPA restrictions. So it's not KTM's fault, it's a government issue. In the US, it's also the same in Europe. They have to make them lean to pass those standards, and then that leanness makes them run poorly. So anyhow, it added just a little bit of tone to the exhaust. Let me crank it up here for you. Not much. It's still very quiet when you're riding it. Yeah, if you're revving the guts out of it, you can have a little bit more tone, but it's not like some obnoxious aftermarket muffler. So I like quiet bikes, and if you want to keep our tracks open and stuff, I recommend that you like quiet bikes as well. All right, guys, so that was the number one thing, was the Kuber. And it's a pretty cool system. It's a closed loop. It reads off the 2 lambda sensors. There's one right there, and then there's another one up there a little farther. And that's how it works. And then I've got a separate video on how to install that stuff, and I came up with a really clean setup to route all the wiring and where to put the ECU. It's underneath the seat. It's right below where the helmet is, right there. And by the way, this is my Climb Cryos Adventure helmet. I don't know the exact name of it, but I've had this helmet for a couple of years. Absolutely love it. Great product, just like all Climb stuff. All right, guys, so the performance was mainly the head pipe and the ECU. I wanted a different air filter for it, and we got a couple of them in, and unfortunately neither one of them fit correctly, so we're still working that out. And from there I went on to the suspension. So the stock suspension is very basic, very rudimentary. And there's really not much you can do with it as far as tunability. The internals on it are just, there's just not anything there to work with. So I put on a WP Exact Pro rear shock, and it's got a reservoir on it. I've got a separate video on that. The reservoir sits right up in this area behind the plastic here. It's all a real clean mounting setup. And then on the front, I put in a WP system that matches, and that is their Pro cartridges. And we'll have all these products on our website. And below, there's the fork caps. It comes with new fork caps that have preload adjustment, which is the orange nut here. Plus this is the regular clicker adjustment for compression and rebound. One side's compression, the other side is rebound. Those were extremely easy to install, and I've got a video on that as well. So that pretty well sorted out the handling issues. The bike feels a lot more stable now, and it's also a lot more compliant on like the stutter bumps and stuff like that. It's just gives it a lot nicer ride. From there, some creature comforts. So I love Flex handlebars. I've been using them for, I don't know, 20 plus years. Excellent product. They hooked me up with some 12-degree adventure bars. And these were pretty easy to install. I just ran them as far as the mounts on the triple clamp, I left those in the stock position. I added the double take mirrors, which is an excellent product. I'm sure you guys are familiar with those. And then I used their hand guards. And I just want to tell you one thing about any aluminum hand guards. I don't care what brand they are. I see guys just cram them on their bike, just kind of basically force them on. And that's not how I do it. So I rebent them a little bit. So I bent the angle down here a little bit. I changed the angle here a little bit. And it's not hard to do. You just put them in your vise. I've got soft jaw, so I don't nerf them up. But I changed those angles a little bit to where they fit properly, to where you don't have to tug and pull just to get the bolts started. With these, the bolts just go right in. So Flex bars are excellent product. Highly recommend you try those if you want a little more comfort. And they've got different elastomers. You can see the elastomers down here. And they come with different elastomers with the handlebars, so you can make them stiffer or softer, however you want it. I kind of have kind of a medium setup. I reuse the stock grips for now. They're in good shape. I didn't see any reason to change them. And let me go back over the other side here for a minute. So protection, we added this molecule skid plate. Now I run molecule skid plates on all my bikes, my dirt bikes and stuff. And excellent product, made here in the USA. I believe those guys are up in Oregon. But great products with a great mounting system. Also have a separate video on that as well. And this one gives you protection in the back that covers the muffler and stuff back there in this back section right in here. Whereas the stocker doesn't cover any of that. The stock is very basic. It doesn't give you a lot of protection. Okay, we also add these motion foot pegs, which I've got a video on how to install those, and they're a rocker style, so they actually have some flex to them like this. Gives you a little more comfort, keeps your boot more in contact with the peg. And from there, I guess I moved on to the bags. So I've never used these Endurastand bags before, but I've been studying them up on them, and we stock them now. Great product out of Switzerland and Europe. They've done a lot of testing. Typical Europeans, especially like Germans and Swiss and some of those northern countries, they're really into data. And they did a lot of testing on materials. They've got that information on their website. They claim that this is like the strongest material that's on the market right now for bags. What I like is it has a lot of features and functions. Places like this where they've got kits where you can mount water bottles here, you can mount water bottles here. They've got stuff that you can put here, another pack that you can put here. It's a modular system, so you can add on to it. It also was very easy to get them mounted up on this. I just watched their video on how to adjust all the straps, and it all made sense to me, so that's what I did. Now, normally there's a foot peg bracket down here for the passenger peg, And the damn passenger peg kept flopping down on me, and then I'd put my foot down and it would dig into the back of my leg, so I took those off. I didn't like those, so I added these pieces here from Giant Loop. We keep those in stock. Just made a good contact point there for hooking that on. I also like the way they've got all these little Velcro pieces to handle the extra length of the material. And they also show you how you can shorten them on their website. They show you how to do that. But these don't fall off. They slide over the strap. So if you loosen them up, you don't lose them. And they've got the same type of little Velcro pieces here. I like this system back here. So they give you these pieces. They show that you could mount them up here, which I'm sure on many bikes you can, and I could have on this bike as well. But I saw there were 2 bolts right here to hold on this under fender. And so I just removed those bolts and put them on there, and then these slip over pieces. So it ended up really slick mounting system. I'm very impressed with the product. It's I'd say of all the different bags that we carry, these are by far the best. As far, they make a lot of different models too. This is just one model. This is the Blizzard 2.15, and they've got a bunch of other ones, bigger, smaller, whatever you want, different applications, different shapes and sizes. Oh, tank bag. So the Enduro-Stand tank bag. Very nice product. It's the Sandstorm 5.01. I've got some goodies in here. It's all waterproof, as are these. And it mounted very easily also. I really like this little clip system they have here. So this is a little buckle system, and they give you a zip tie, and it's got a slot where the zip tie goes through, so you can mount it to the frame. Really clean. Let's see if this is loose. Okay. And the gas cap was underneath here, but when you get to the gas station, all you have to do is, sorry, my videos doing skills are not very good. You just have to undo these buckles and flip it over, or you can do the backwards and flip it forward, and then you can get to the gas cap. So that's really a non-issue. It does not cause any problems on refueling. And it's really clean as far as the straps go. I didn't even feel it at all when I was riding up here today. I think that's about all I've done, guys. Overall, a nice little bike. In stock form, it was very underwhelming because it was so weak and the suspension was so mushy yet harsh. It was just not real stable feeling, but then it was harsh on all the smaller stuff. So the suspension's 1,000 times better now. The motor's 1,000 times better. It's a lot more fun to ride now. It just pulls better. I mean, this is not a powerhouse motor by any means. I mean, that's 390 cc's. It's not even close to what my 500 dirt bike puts out, but it's a nice, fun, rideable bike. Great for whoever. I mean, I think you could be a top-level rider and enjoy this bike, or an entry-level rider. Maybe your wife, your kids, or yourself. I think this bike fits a lot of applications. It's a fun little bike with a very low price point. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up because I think that's about all I did to this bike. Okay, guys, if you would, please like us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. That helps us out a lot. We make these videos to help you make informed decisions. And so if you would, please like us on those formats. It's a big plus for us. Definitely get out and enjoy some of this. It doesn't get much better. That's all for now.